People should be getting sued for this, folks. Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, Disney's box office. Its domestic box office grosses are the worst in over 2 decades from 2022. Let's get into it. This is from Bounding Into Comics. Shout out to John F. Trent. Walt Disney Company's 2022 box office grosses are the worst the company has posted in nearly 2 decades. Not only are the grosses the worst in nearly 2 decades, but just since 2019, the company has seen their grosses decline nearly 70%. 70%, folks. That's substantial. If you are a shareholder and Disney is tanking like this, then you need to think about suing them. And I will get into that a little later. YouTuber Scooper WDW Pro says the Walt Disney Company has seen something like a 70% drop in the box office total since its receiving since 2019. Now, you might blame that on the pandemic, perhaps, and say we're in a post-pandemic world. But if that's the case, then why is Disney on track to drop hundreds of millions of dollars versus their 2022 box office totals? According to some of my sources, folks, who actually look at the box office, run numbers as good as they can, and as close to accurate as possible, Disney is on course to losing over $1 billion this year from domestic box office. Or from worldwide box office, I believe. So the YouTuber went on to make his point by citing the Box Office Pros report of the Walt Disney Company's 2019 box office grosses. The outlet reported that the company grossed $13.1 billion globally across its Disney and Fox film releases in 2019. They added that number includes $4.3283 billion in North America and $8.8234 billion overseas. The company released 13 films in 2019 with top grossers including Avengers Endgame, The Lion King and Frozen 2. Other films that brought in money at the box office in 2019 from the Walt Disney Company included Toy Story 4, Captain Marvel, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Aladdin, Dumbo, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, Mary Poppins Returns, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Penguins and the Nutcracker in the Four Realms. Never even heard of the last two. Fast forward to 2022, and the Box Office Pro reports that the Walt Disney Company only earned $2 billion domestically and another $2.9 billion internationally, for a global gross of $4.9 billion. So they went from 13 plus billion to just under $5 billion. That's substantial, folks. That's big losses. That's a 62% decline from 2019. The films bringing in money, the money in 2022 included Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Lightyear, Strange World, Encanto, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. How does that bring in money in 2022 when it released in 2015? The Beatles Get Back, The Rooftop Concert, and The Eternals. Interestingly, the numbers reports that the Walt Disney Company only grossed $1.3 billion domestically when adjusted for inflation. Oof, inflation's bad, folks. The difference is likely that Box Office Pro is factoring in Avatar: Way of the Water, while the numbers is not. The numbers list Avatar: Way of the Water being distributed by 20th Century Studios, albeit it is a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company now. Nevertheless, the numbers notes that 1.3 billion gross is the lowest grossing total excluding 2020 and 2021 for the Walt Disney Company, going as far back as 1995, which is as far back as the numbers reporting goes. It's a nearly 70% decline from 2019's domestic grosses of $4.26 billion. Not only are grosses down, but so are ticket sales. The numbers notes that the Walt Disney Company sold 408,569,611 tickets in the domestic theater in 2019. In 2022, the company only sold 129,776,098 tickets. That's the lowest number of tickets sold in the number's entire tracking history that goes back to 1995. In 1995, the company sold 232,649,211 tickets. Yikes. 2008 previously held the record for least tickets sold at 139,286,843. Things are going to look even worse when examining the Walt Disney Company's 2023 results. The company is likely to outspace its domestic grosses from 2022, but it's quite likely it will end up having less global grosses. The company has currently grossed $1.1 billion in 2023 from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Little Mermaid, Ant-Man, Wasp, Quantumania, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, Elemental, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Strange World. Yeah, those movies didn't make money. Didn't make money at all. With 3 more releases still to come, Haunted Mansion, The Marvels, and Wish, as well as 4 films still currently in theaters, it is likely it will surpass 2022's 1.3 domestic gross. It's likely that they will also sell more tickets as well. The company has only sold 106,032,013 tickets in 2023 so far, and we are only in July. They are currently short 23.7 million tickets sales compared to last year. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 by itself sold 34.2 million tickets. Little Mermaid also sold 27.6. As for the company's global grosses, WDW Pro predicts that the company will only gross $4.2 billion globally. According to Deadline, the company has grossed $2.5 billion internationally and another $1.35 billion domestically. However, these numbers include 20th Century Studios' Avatar: The Way of the Water. Given these numbers from Deadline, WDW Pro says that Disney's, despite having $3.4 billion in revenue, Disney will struggle to top $4 billion total. In fact, I think the number they will probably arrive at is $4.2 billion. We'll see how that plays out. That's just projecting a bit, but it's also reading the tea leaves and taking a look at where they have been this year and how their films have performed, and playing out with the very few releases they have left. Now, $4.2 billion, of course, is a decrease from where they were just last year, right? So $4.9 billion to $4.2 billion, that's $700 million drop, or $1 million drop, folks, is likely. He continued, and when you consider that kind of drop versus more than $13 billion they were making in 2019, that's 70% approximate, because we don't know exactly where this will land, but about a 70% drop overall. Of note is that 2023 will have extra film one extra film bringing in grosses at the box office. However, it will have 3 more films based on the calendar year compared to 2022. The Walt Disney Company released 5 films in 2022: Wakanda Forever, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder, Lightyear, and Strange World. In 2023, they've already released Guardians 3, Woke Mermaid, Quantumania, Dial of Destiny, Elemental. They still have to release Haunted Mansion, The Marvels, and Wish. This new report comes after a financial and box office analyst, Valiant Renegade, speculated the Walt Disney Company has lost nearly $900 million at the box office in the past year, and that was before Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny released, a film that is predicted to lose over $250 million for the company. What do you make of Walt Disney Company's declining box office grosses? Well, as I said earlier, perhaps shareholders may want to start suing for fiduciary violation. And for those of you who don't know what that is, fiduciary duty means you are responsible for acting and doing things to benefit someone else. Meaning, you need to satisfy your shareholders, you need to be making them money. If you don't, well, and if you are doing things against the shareholders' wishes after the shareholders have protested, you can sue for breach of fiduciary duty. The plaintiff will need to prove that the defendant owed them a fiduciary duty, breached this duty, and caused them damage as a result. If successful, the plaintiff may be able to recover compensation for their losses. The way I see it, if I was a Disney shareholder, and I have been paying attention to the shareholders' meetings, and I gave my objections to this direction that they are in, where they are constantly trying to push agendas that nobody wants in movies, and they have lost nearly $1 billion, and their stock has plummeted because of it, folks. Their stock is under $100, I do believe. And I would be saying, after ignoring protests, my stock portfolio has decreased. Therefore, that is damaging. I would sue Disney if I was a shareholder. I was counting on Disney's or the earnings from Disney to pay for certain things, to keep the lights on in certain areas and whatnot. However, due to their ignoring shareholders who are sick and tired of the woke nonsense, well, they decided to ignore them, and that has costed money. Yeah, Disney has lost money for shareholders, and they are continuously sacrificing that money to push an agenda. They're purposefully tanking their box offices, folks, because they care so much about the agenda more than their shareholders. And that should scare you if you are a Disney shareholder. They don't care about you. They don't. Anyway, that is going to be the video, folks. What do you make of all this? Do you think that Disney should be sued by shareholders for fiduciary breach of contract? Or do you think that wouldn't work? What do you think of the box office losses? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Have a wonderful day. And always remember, stay humble.